Okay, here we are. Look, I've just put the rubber hose over and with these little spring clamps, and just need some pointy nose pliers just to position it properly. It's a very simple thing. Now these will just slide in. Then we'll grab the whole two hoses, the hose, the fuel line and the exhaust pipe, and we'll put that through the hole that we've cut in the floor of the Adria. And remembering that the Adria has a very thick 44mm flooring, fantastic flooring, so we can use longer screws than we've been provided if we need to secure this to the floor. I think we'll find out these will be maybe fine. If not, I'm quite happy to go to a 30mm screw. I think that 30mm might be a little bit more, give a bit more bite and grip to it. So we'll see how it goes. So we'll now get this ready to place through the flooring. Okay, here we are. Here's the hole, and we're going to feed through the exhaust pipe and the fuel line and get everything out of the way and place it in the hole, and we're going to push this through now. It's a very simple process, isn't it? Like, I'm going to just push it through, and that's it, it's going through the bottom. Now that is now flush on the floor, so we'll be putting our screws through here. Now what I've decided to do, I've actually got mine slanted on an angle, so I've got it going over to here, so you can see I'm going to have a direct line out, and there is enough at the back. That's where it's going to capture all the internal air, because you notice that the Adria, well designed, has air circulation gaps on the flooring. That is the walls that actually go around. So here's an example, here's one here. So all the cool air will be passing through here. It will be going through, down into an outlet here. It's great. Now the reason why I think that's a good place and not doing it directly, that is directly out here, is that it's going into that wall. I think this is a better position to go travel out there. The best way and the best place to put a diesel heater is at the end of your van, which would be under here. That is the best place, because then you're blowing the air directly down to where you're sleeping. So you're getting hot air from one end to another end. Placing in the middle is not the optimum place. However, we're doing this because I can't find a reasonable place to put the fuel tank at the rear. Now I may change my mind. If I do that, you know what, I'm going to move it and use the plug that I've cut out from the floor and put that back. But at the moment it's staying here. And while we're here, look, please don't screw down this unit until you've fitted everything outside underneath the van, because you may want to turn this. You may want to turn it this way, you might want to turn it perpendicular. So until you see your exhaust pipe and your inlet on there underneath of the van, and also the wiring on the top, don't screw anything in, because I can tell you now, you may want to move it 5 degrees, might be 45. So let's have a look underneath the van. Okay, this is underneath the van of the Adria. We're looking to the rear. Here we have the turret, which has got lots of sealant, and after 2 days of sealant was still quite damp, so that's okay. I'm going to spread it around, make a good seal around the floor. So here's the air out. So that's basically filtering the air going in, sorry, the air going in. Here's the exhaust pipe, so we'll push the exhaust pipe and we'll put it out to the side here. So the exhaust pipe will go to the right of the caravan. And here's the fuel line, which will travel directly down towards the front. Okay, now we have the wiring. So grab the wiring loom, and on the loom, let's just plug it in. You can unplug everything, but let's plug it in, and let's have a look what we've got here. So where the fuse is here, that's going straight to our fuse box. So you can actually put this fuse line directly to the battery or to a fuse box, whichever one. There's already a fuse built in, so you can make up your mind where you want that to go. This of course is going under the caravan to the fuel pump. So we're going to drill a hole. We're going to separate this wire, separate it and rejoin it underneath. Yes, it's a bit of a pain, but it's something that has to be done unless you know how to undo the wiring in one of these. We're going to cut and rejoin under the actual caravan. We have an earth, which will go to the earth in our fuse box or our battery. And we have this little joiner, which will go to our LCD control unit. So we can plug this in here, and that'll go on the outside somewhere, so we may have to cut the wires here and rejoin. So we'll go about doing that, so you can do that at your leisure. We're finished installing the diesel heater, 2 kilowatts, and I've tried to do this as neatly as possible. I think it's very important to use cable ties and run it along the existing Adria wiring. I've got it going into my own little fuse box here. The fuse box to the battery has a 50 amp positive and negative lead, so it's quite getting enough power from the battery. And I've also ran the control unit up where the bed head is. So we'll go outside now and have a look. Here's the unit. It's running beautifully. So we're getting good heat out of that unit at the moment. We'll go outside and see what the work is like under the van. Okay, here we are. We're putting the tank, the fuel tank, in next to the gas bottles. Now you might be wondering how I got that tank in next to gas bottles. What I did was the left-hand gas bottle holder, I took the left-hand screw out and flipped the holder over and just screwed straight into the solid wall. So using the existing screw hole, plus you're making a new one. So what you may have left is just one hole there, as you can see. You can plug that up, and that gives you an extra space here and doesn't interfere with anything else on the tank side. It gives you space to put your diesel fuel tank in. I've drilled a 13mm hole through the plate here, and I've done it on the high. The reason I've done it on the high is because then I can run the fuel line down and in between the channeling, and that will be protected. Now what you may see is that I've already put in the drain. I've also put a quick release mechanism here, and they're $40, probably $45 I think it was, including postage. And it has a bottom section which quick releases, so if you need to take the tank out, you just click it, off it comes. Okay, so we're going to now screw into this here with the self-tapping screws that came with the fuel tank. So we'll put those in, and we've got it. I've got this 200mm from the base to here, and that gives you enough access under the tank to quick release it, to check anything. And we're going to put the fuel filter under the car. You could put it here if you want, which is probably not a bad idea actually, but that means you've got to lift the tank up a lot higher. If you had a 5-litre tank, I would probably do that. We're going to initially put a 10-litre tank in and see how that goes. If we find that there's too much fuel, I'll change it over to a 5-litre tank. And the 5-litre tanks are good because you can actually pull the tank out and take it outside the caravan and fill up without having to take the caravan into town. Okay. We are under the van now, and we're starting off with the turret. which has got the sealant around it, and we've got the exhaust pipe coming out with the line for the air filter, and also the wiring loom. So the wiring loom goes all the way down to the front with the fuel line. Sorry, it's a fuel line here, and the fuel line's running inside a plastic cover. You can buy all this from your local Auto Pro shop or Bunnings. There's the pump, and I've put a bit of extra foam here to stop any knocking or vibration noise going through the van. These clips are wonderful. These are from an Auto Pro shop in Drysdale, but they're great. They actually hold the plastic line quite securely, and I'm going all the way to the front. There is the fuel filter. That'll go up to the pump, sorry, up to the tank at the front. To the front of the van now where the fuel tank is. I've put the 10 litre tank in at the moment. I'm not sure whether I'll go to 5, so we're just deciding that. And there's lots of room for the tank here, for the gas tank. And you can see underneath, there's my quick release valve. So if I have to take this tank out, all I do is unclip, and you can pull the actual tank out. So it's a great idea to get there. As I said before, they're $45. Well worth it. Now that's all. Everything is actually, the fuel line is always wrapped in a plastic piping, so they protect it from any metal rubbing against it, and also from stones underneath the van. So there we are. We've got probably 4 litres in there at the moment, so we'll see. But wonderful. Let's put the gas tank back in on the next to the fuel line, next to the fuel tank, and off we go. Hope you enjoyed the video.